Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Drive Thru. I'm your host, Tony T, with you here Tuesday through Saturday on demand. So if you would, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Hit us up with that thumbs up and like. Really helps to build up our audience. Our goal here on the Drive Thru is to give you 6 picks from 6 cappers. So let's get the show underway. Let's welcome in Rod Zawaki. You find him over at Pig Dogs. Raymond, Rod, what's going on?
Not too much, Tony. Hey, I think we got a winner last time with the Phillies, so let's try to get you guys another winner here. Shout out to everybody. Big day for a lot of people. 24th anniversary, so shout out to all the people that were involved in 9/11. I believe it was 25 years ago. It went by that fast. It seems just like yesterday that 29 over almost 3,000 people lost their lives on that day. Day to remember these fallen foes that have been around and all the families that were affected. So quick shout out to those guys here on September 11th. Hopefully it's a good 24th anniversary to all those folks out there that were affected by that 9/11.
Forever live in our memory, exactly. Now, we'll get over here to the baseball here. We go to the divisional battle between the Royals and Guardians here. The Guardians $1.30 here, total of 8.
Yeah, you look at this matchup. Hey, Guardians have been dominant over the Royals, winning, what is it, the last couple of this series. Royals out on the road in division games definitely have not been good. They've been losing your money all over the place this year. That's why they're another dog here in this spot. But we're looking at the total here in this one. I think we got ourselves a nice little pitcher's duel. Stephen Kolek on the bump for the Royals here in this one. Nice pickup from the Padres. Padres definitely wish they had his arm back right now at this moment. His last 3 starts have been absolutely money. He's went 6 innings, 7 innings. And in those starts, he's given up 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs. So solid starts there by Kolek for the Royals. I think he has the same type of start there as well against this Guardians squad that haven't seen Kolek yet. So first time they've seen him, I think he has a good start there. You look at Gavin Williams on the other side of the bump. He's seen this Royal teams a couple of times this year already. And in the first start this season, back on March 29th, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs in that start. The time previous, which you go back to July 26th, he went 5 innings in that start, gave up a couple earned runs, and 1 home run in that start. Although both those 2 starts, lower scoring ones, and went to the under, and that's what we're going here at this one. Both these bullpens, Kansas City's bullpen over their last 10 games or so, been sub-3 ERA. Cleveland, just a slightly higher ERA than that. I think these bullpens, when it's tossed to them, do plenty enough to keep us under the total and we don't get fireworks late. I think this is like a hockey game. First to 3 wins it, which gets us the under 8 in this one.
All right, Rod.
Thursday.
Here on Royals and Guardians under 8. Yeah, that's the story here. The Royals just can't get the offense going. They've struggled on the road. I think they were shut out in one of the first games of this series here. And, of course, one thing with Cleveland, something that's been very, very consistent with them. I know their hitting has been up and down, but the one consistent piece for them has been the performance of their bullpen.
Yeah, definitely the Guardians bullpen been the solid and the bright spot, always consistent, giving you those late inning shutdown moments. So I think that's exactly what happens here. I think both these bullpens are pretty shut down. Maybe this the lack of offense at times for these teams too. So either way, give us the under 8 here in this matchup.
All right, Royals, Guardians under 8. This one to have a start time 7:15 Eastern time. Big Fox to televise. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Rim. Head into a big Thursday of action here with NFL, college football returning, baseball on the docket. Big weekend. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, definitely. I think Thursday is the best day to grab that 3-day pass because, you get everything we got rolling into the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you get the NFL thrown in there as well. So I think that's kind of the way to go here. But on Thursday, little mixed bag. We got some MLB. I got some play in the Sunday or the Thursday nighter in the NFL tonight, and then I got to play in the college game as well. So little mixed sport action going for you here. The Thursday takedown, as we say, let's take down the books together. Join me, head on over to pickdogs.com and scoop up that 3-pack, and let's make it a nice winning night together as we get into Friday Eve, as I say. Make that a winning night, and then join me for the rest of the weekend. Loaded card. It's also that time of year you want to get aboard long term. That way you don't miss out on any of the plays because it's all these sports overlapping this time of year. And, I cap multiple sports this time of year. So definitely jump aboard and don't miss out on all those winners.
Those winners from Rod Zawacky over at Pick Dogs. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout we'll save you that 15% off. All right, Rod, it's always great having the show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you later.
Definitely have a good evening, everybody. Make it a winning one, and we'll catch you guys again soon.
All right, Rod Zawacky here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the Drive Thru. Thursday night NFL up next. Let's bring in Matt Fargo. If I'm over at Pig Dog Prim, all over the leaderboards here, doing great work. Matt, what's happening?
Hey Tony, how you doing? Doing very well here. Looking forward to talking some NFL. Coming off a decent week 1, 5-3. A couple of tough losses with the Falcons and Bears, but we move on to week 2. Looking forward to it.
Move on to week 2, exactly. Let's get to it here. Thursday night football here features Commanders at the Packers. The Packers got the hook on them now. 3.5-point favorites. Total coming in here at 48.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the total here. Both Washington and Green Bay are coming off unders in their opener, and we're seeing, we saw a little different variations of what they went up against. Green Bay, they faced the Detroit offense, which obviously was great last year, very potent. But going through changes, obviously, with Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, gone. So it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, for that offense to come around, and it showed. As far as Washington, the Washington defense looked great, but they faced the New York Giants offense that just is not good. Russell Wilson, he's aged, he's lost a step, you can see it. The offensive line just is not very good. Plus, they were without Andrew Thomas, which was a big loss for the unit that is bad to begin with. So I think the defenses looked better than they probably are in reality. And both defenses are going to be facing a stiffer test here. Green Bay going up against, Jane Daniels, who, even if they get the pass rush, which I think they will, he can escape. He runs a 4.4 40, very quick out of the pocket. So I think he can definitely carry the offense. Washington gained 432 yards of offense against New York last week, which was second most of any team in the league. They only scored 21 points out of it because they went 4 for 11 on third down. I think the offense improves here. And as far as the Green Bay offense, Jordan Love's a big upgrade, big step up in competition over Russell Wilson. So the Washington defense is definitely going to see a better offense this time around. Thursday night standalone game, it's definitely a square public play. But as far as the total from last week, Washington, the Giants, I think it closed at 45.5. So we're only seeing a 2.5 to 3 point bump here, facing a much stronger offense. Green Bay, Detroit closed at 40.5, so we're seeing about the same number there. I say we see a lot of points in this Thursday night game. I see we go over the total Thursday night.
All right, we got Matt here going over here. Commanders and the Packers over the total here of 48 points. One thing we saw in week 1, we saw a lot of tired defenses in the second half. You think we have a lot of passing, a high volume number of plays. We could see some scoring here in this in the latter part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter here, as we're still so early on the season and teams not going as deep as they used to with their defense. Remember back in the old John Madden used to say when he used to commentate, you want your defense out there in the second half so they can go through a full game. We've seen some defensive collapses here. Maybe these are two passing teams where we get some tired defenses late.
I totally agree with that. Yep, we saw it with the Giants last week. Giants defense actually looked really, really good through the first 2.5, 3 quarters, and then they just kind of lost it. And a lot of teams look like that last week. They were really good early on, and come fourth quarter, some of these teams are gassed. Granted, these are professional athletes, but some still are not up to top form yet. And for the first few weeks, we can see the same thing happen, just as we saw last week.
Yeah, we've gotten away from letting your starters go. And I think it's the defense what comes into conditioning, because you've got to be 100% all out every play. And we're starting to see that where they're not in their top condition here, the defenses here early on the season. We get a high volume number of plays here from these two passing teams. We could see some tired defenses there in the fourth. And Commanders, Packers over a total of 48. This one to have a start time here, 8:15 Eastern time over on Prime Video. All right, Matt, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Prime. Head into a big weekend of action, big Thursday of action with the NFL, college football, baseball still on the board. Of course, Matt putting up some impressive numbers. 2,934 units of profit last 90 days over at Pick Dog Prime. We don't forget about baseball. He's sitting at the top of leaderboards as well in profit generated in baseball this season. What you got for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, for Thursday, going to continue the baseball season. Have a great season. Probably have a full card up once again. And for football, I already have a play up in college between NC State and Wake Forest. I'm going to have a side play between Green Bay and Washington. And Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, I will have my full cards up for college football and NFL heading into the weekend. As I mentioned, 5-3 NFL Week 1. College football had a not so great Saturday last week, but we're going to bounce back. So looking forward to a great weekend of football action over at Pick Dogs.
That's right. Get on board with Matt Fargo over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can verify all these numbers very simply. Click the link in the description, land at the premium site. You'll see Matt here on the leaderboards. And then click his link and get on over to his handicapper page. He'll be rocking and rolling here for this big Thursday and weekend action here at NFL and college football. Promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. And, of course, all of our records are based on a $100 unit size wager there. All right, Matt, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, so we'll talk to you soon. Good luck, Pick Dogs family.
You as well, and everyone at Pick Dogs. Matt Fargo here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the Drive Thru. Up next, Joey Tron. Find him over at Pick Dog Prim. WNBA action, winding down the regular season. Joey, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony? How you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. All right, here we go. Winding down the WNBA regular season here with the Valkyries at the Lynx. We see the Lynx going to be favored here, 6.5. The total here, 153.5.
Yeah, so I'm going to be taking the points here with the Valkyries. Way back when, actually, before the WNBA season started, during the on the old drive-thru, I actually said for the Valkyries to take their over win total, which was 9.5, and they surpassed that with 23 wins here. So again, I'm taking the points here with the Valkyries. They've lost back-to-back. However, the Lynx are returning home after a three-game road trip, and this is the last game of the season for them. Their playoff spot is all but locked up. They're the number one team in the WNBA, and this game means absolutely nothing for them. Defensively, the Valkyries, they've been on a tear. They're holding teams below 40% from the field in 5 of their last 6 games. And the Lynx, again, they've been zigzagging wins and losses. Teams have been averaging 47% from the field against them the last 3 games. And this is definitely a spot where the Valkyries need their offense to come to fruition, especially heading into the playoffs. Lynx offense, I think they're going to have some issues here. Golden State's forcing about 11 turnovers per game roughly over their last 6. They're also 4-1 to the spread off a road loss playing on the road, and the Lynx are just 4-4 against the spread at home off a road loss. So I think the spread's just a little bit too high, and I'm taking the points with the Valkyries.
Yeah, with Joey here, take the Valkyries here. And this one, Valkyries in the playoffs. Currently, as we speak, here, a 7th seed, so we'll see how this maneuvers into the first round, best of 3, I believe it is here, as we get into the WNBA playoffs later on here. But yeah, Valkyries been a good story here. Expansion team making the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I love to see it. And the thing with the Valkyries, they don't have a bunch of superstars. They just have a bunch of mediocre, scrappy players that just play well together. They play defense, keep low scores, and they find ways to win.
There you go. We got Joey here on the Valkyries, plus 6.5 here against the Lynx. This one, 8 Eastern time. All right, Joey, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium. Head into a big Thursday of action. NFL returns, college football returns, action from baseball. Head into a huge weekend of action. What do you got for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, after a bad couple of days, I got a sweep last night, cashed in my NL East game of the year on the Phillies, so definitely trying to pick up some momentum here. Looking for a big week 2 in the NFL and a big week 3 in college football. Those plays should be dropping sometime tonight, and if you use the code PICK, you'll get 15% off any of those single-day plays.
That's right, guys. Get over with Joey Tron over at Pick Dogs Premium. Long-term is the way to go, especially now with all these sports overlapping. Get those long-term subscriptions, and of course, the promo code PICK. You'll save that 15% off at checkout. All right, Joey, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you later.
Thanks for having me, Tony. Have a great night.
You as well. Joey Tron here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the Drive Thru. Let's WNBA actions. We're closing out the regular season. Time for Big Al McMordi. Find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Big Al, what's going on?
Not much, Tony. Had a great football weekend last week and looking to continue it this week. I've already posted over at Pick Dogs 13 plays in college football, and dating back to the start of last year, the record is, I forget what it's 104-69 in college football, nice. Dating back to 2024. So 13 plays up. If folks want to drop by Pick Dogs, they're all there for you.
Very good. Check it out. Link in the description. All right, we go to the WNBA, closing out regular season here with Aces at the Sparks. Aces road favorites are 11.5. Total sits here 167.5.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Becky Hammon and the Aces. I mean, what a job they've done since getting blown out by, 53 points earlier in the year. Unbelievable. Haven't lost since. And they probably won't lose tonight. But we will take the points in this matchup. The the LA Sparks are coming off a nice upset win against the Phoenix Mercury, winning 88-83 as a 7-point road underdog the other night. Now they're a double-digit home dog, and we can get a double-digit home dog going back like over 20 years in the WNBA. You've cashed 57%, but even better, if the team is off an ATS win in its previous game, that 57% rises all the way to 35-15 ATS, 70%. So I'm going to grab the 11.5 with the Sparks, Tony.
Yeah, from Big Al here on the Sparks here, plus the 11.5 here. It is, closing out the regular season. What was your overall scope here of this league and handicapping it this year as we finish off this regular season?
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of like, juicing out the entire year in the WNBA, 50-50. So, this was the second year I've done it. So I'm learning as I go. I thought it was, an interesting year. I think New York is going to be a very dangerous team come playoff time, provided they have all their players in the lineup. I'm not really sold on the Las Vegas Aces myself, notwithstanding their win streak. But, yeah, it should be an interesting playoffs.
Yeah, you're looking at Lynx, what the Lynx can do. May take it away here from the Liberty this year.
They may. They've been the best team all season long. We'll have to see how the playoffs go. I just think I would not want to play the New York Liberty.
That's correct here. Big Al here, Sparks plus 11.5, 10 Eastern time. All right, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Prim here. For this Thursday, baseball mixed in with NFL and college football. Head into a huge weekend of action from the NFL and college football. You can see Big Al's record here, 12,455 units of profit last 12 months. That's all based on a $100 unit wager. You can verify those numbers simply by clicking the link in the description. You'll land here. Click the link on the upper right, Big Al's numbers, to get to his page and get signed up. So when they go over to your page, Big Al, what do you have for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, I've got 13 college football plays at Pick Dogs right now. I may or may not have baseball or WNBA on Thursday, still handicapping the card. There's a very short baseball card on Thursday, so we'll have to see what happens, what I have for Thursday's games. But I have posted, as I mentioned already, 13 college football plays for Saturday. I'm going to have about 5 or 6 NFL plays for the weekend. So a lot of good stuff over at Pick Dogs. And the best thing, of course, is to team me up with Tony under the 2-for-1 handicapper special.
Very good. Yeah, get on board with Big Al McMordi over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results from Big Al. Multi-cap promotion. Yeah, match me up with Big Al and get the long-term subscriptions, 3, 7, or 30 a pass all the way up to the 1 year. Get on board over at Pick Dogs. With all these sports overlapping, your best value is the long-term subscriptions. All right, Big Al, is always great having your show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow, Tony.
All right, Big Al here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the Drive Thru. Up next, Chris Ruffalo. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Trim. College football action here for Thursday. Chris, what's happening? Welcome back to the Drive Thru.
Oh man, Tony, it's nice to know that you kept my seat warm for me. It's just like old times. I'm happy to be back. But yeah, right. This Thursday card a little bit smaller, but still, football back on the horizon, ready to break it down with you, ready to make everybody some money.
That's right. We can't talk Blue Jays today. A better year for the Blue Jays this year, but well, maybe that for another show. We'll go to college football here in ACC action. NC State, Wake Forest. NC State, the road favorite, 7, total 51.5.
Yeah, and when Jake Dickert took over Wake Forest, I think he knew that there was going to be a little bit of a growing period that this defense needed to be worked on a little bit. But I'll tell you, he's still got a solid core. He's got one of the best running backs in the ACC coming back to help. We got Robbie Ashford, who's an experienced quarterback as well. NC State, yeah, they've played the tougher schedule through 2 games. They played Virginia, they played East Carolina, but they were still getting gashed pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. And I think this is a Wake Forest team that can still hold their own offensively, especially at home. This has been a very hotly contested matchup over the last few years, where 3 of the last 5 meetings have been decided by 1 score. I think we could see something similar here. I would love to get it at 7.5, but I'm okay taking it at 7 with Wake Forest here. I think you could easily have a 23-20, 24-20 kind of game, if not higher. But yeah, I think the 7 points with Wake Forest is where I want to be in this one.
there with Chris likes Wake Forest here, +7. Of course, short week here. NC State traveling, and placing that Virginia team. That was a tough game because Virginia completely changed the way the entire team now. They got that North Texas transfer and more of an up-tempo passing game. So it was quite a different game there against Virginia last week.
Yeah, and like you said, when you go up and down the field like that, you have a game that turns into a track meet. It's hard enough on a normal week of rest, but now you're having to play on a Thursday, a quick turnaround after that game on Saturday. I think Wake Forest can take advantage of it. Like I said, I understand that NC State has had the much tougher schedule up to this point. Wake Forest, had a little bit of a cupcake schedule through 2 weeks, but like I said, I don't see there being that much of a disparity to where I want to lay 7 points with NC State on the road here. So that's why I'm taking Wake Forest here and the points in this one, free touchdown.
All right, Chris here on Wake Forest +7 here against NC State. This one will have a start time here of 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium here for the Thursday card. Baseball on the board as well as NFL and college football. Head into a big weekend of action here, NFL, college football. And, of course, the WNBA playoffs coming soon. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, for me on Thursday, it's going to be my NFL Platinum play that takes stage, and we're locking in on NFL and just football as a whole this weekend. I feel like I'm seeing the card really well. Going to have some baseball on the board, too. We've been hitting baseball fairly hard over the last couple of months as well, but we always talk about the long-term passes are the way to go. For me, usually the 3-day and 7-day passes during football season, and sometimes even the 30-day passes with how much volume we have on Saturday and Sunday are actually a better deal than buying each of the daily packages individually. So make sure that you check that out over at Pick Dogs Premium. Remember to use that promo code PICK at 15% off your purchase.
That's right. Get on board with Chris over at Pick Dogs Premium. Link in the description and land on the premium side and hit the Cappers tab and get signed up. All right, Chris, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, Tony. Appreciate it.
All right, Chris Ruffalo here on the Drive Thru. And now it's time for my pick. We go to Major League Baseball here for Thursday night. Angels at Mariners. We see Mariners here favored here, $1.74, total of 8. We're going to take the dog here, underdog, with the Angels here at +146. Jose Soriano was moved to this game here. He was initially scheduled for Wednesday. He goes Thursday, and for good cause, because Soriano in his 14 road starts in the area of 2.47. Bryce Miller gets the start for Seattle. Miller has not been right this year. His strikeouts are way down. His walks are way up. His home runs are way up. 1.54 home runs per 9 innings. Striking out just 17.5 batters. Walking almost 10. You look at Miller in his 6 home starts, ERA 5.5. LA 24-23 in their road night games this year. So they get those 3 meals in them, and they play one game over 500. But more importantly, they've returned 15.5 units in those road night games. So we're going to go ahead and take the Angels here at +146. All right, over at Pick Dogs Premium, I'll have a best bet on the board. I'm the number 2 unit producer in Major League Baseball over at Pick Dogs, so get on board with my premium plays here for Thursday. You can verify my numbers, by the way, if you go right over to Pick Dogs Premium. The link is in the description. Land here, you'll find my page here on the upper right, number right behind Big Al for the last 12 months. Click that link and go here. You'll see what my offerings here. Long-term subscriptions are the way to go. You can see over the past 12 months, 4,205 units of profit. And that's based on $100 unit wager size. So get on board with my plays for Thursday, or again, you may consider that 30-day all sports pass. You get all these sports overlapping with college football, NFL, baseball. Of course, baseball playoffs coming up as well here. So get on board with me. Match me up with your favorite capper with the multi-capper promotion. And don't forget the promo code PICK at checkout. We'll save you that 15% off. All right, that's going to do it for now, guys. We're back again tomorrow with another show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. Tuesday through Saturday here, the Drive Thru is on demand. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you tomorrow.